What's happening, fellas? Well, it was Canelo Day, and damn it, we haven't been around in 8 months. We were all talking like we should just get on and say hello to everybody and just talk about this. We haven't really talked about the fight. I'm here with Georgie with Off the Ropes Boxing and MMA, and none other than the legend, the YTBC legend. You can only find him here. Nopol Boxeanos. What's happening, fellas?
Good evening. Good
Salute.
evening.
Okay,
How
this is
you
what I
guys
want
doing?
to. Good. I'm a little stoned, so I'm not gonna try to carry this, not carry it, but take the point. We're just gonna talk, because I'm stoned. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, yeah.
All right. But we're glad you're all here. I want to start off by saying that this is what I think: Mexican style beats Cuban style. It's better. It's superior. Fucking that guy was dancing around. I had my father-in-law here, and he said it in Spanish, but he was like, "Oh, that damn black guy, he's just dancing around." You know what I mean? Like, you know how they are. I would never say it like that.
Yeah.
Like a ballerina, calling him a ballerina and shit. It's like, dude, that's terrible stuff to watch. What do you guys think? No.
I mean,
Oh,
why? It's like I'm getting tired of seeing this, bro. It's like all of his opponents gonna try to just get the check. I'll be really disappointed if Crawford does the same thing. But of course, I mean, if he starts getting hurt, then I could see him just trying to survive or something like that. Which I think that every boxer probably has the ability to run away a little bit and try to make it through the fight. We seen Devin Haney doing it yesterday, but I mean he had a little bit more style and he threw a couple more punches. So I give Haney kind of more of a pass because he did at least made it look good or whatever. But I'm just saying, man, I'm getting tired of seeing Canelo's opponents just taking advantage of the just going for the money, I guess. I mean, is it like people complain so much about Canelo? They're like, he makes people sign secret clauses. I mean, maybe he should invent a clause in there in the contract. If your bitch ass tries to just survive, you're getting half of your check taken away. You know what I mean? Something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
I mean, when was the last? I get it. Who was the last one besides Charlo? I mean, like you said, I think what Charlo did was obviously he felt what he felt, survived. But I think
Berlanga
this
too,
one,
right? He kind of
no,
just
Berlango. I think Berlango stood his ground, but he really didn't engage. I thought he stood there in the pocket. He didn't run like Charlo or run like
No,
Skull.
I think he stood his ground
Yeah, he stood his
respectably.
ground.
Yeah,
Yeah,
better than Mungia.
yeah, for sure. But
But
yeah, I'm with that, man.
I'm
I'm trying
tired
to
of
think.
watching that bullshit. You know what I
and you
mean?
know what? Like the ABF is full of shit putting these guys like this, man, just in this position and giving them so much damn leverage, bro, over a fighter like Canelo. It's like we complain so much about the WBC and maybe they missed the mark and didn't give us the Benavides fight, but I mean it shows you, it kind of shows you why there's positioning and all that.
Yeah, truly.
Yes.
I mean, because I was watching earlier and they were saying, well, okay, oh, it was Steve Kim was talking about how the IBF, gave William Skull, but I mean, who else would he have? Who else could we have put in there? Who else could he have fought for? It was
I mean, and
obviously
then
to get the.
George,
It was
think about
obviously
it
to get
too.
the IBF. Yeah. What
Think
happened?
about this too. This is not the first time that the IBF has
Right.
totally fucked Canelo over, bro.
And
They've
look what
been
they did to
doing it to
Usyk
him
over some
since
stupid shit, right?
Yeah,
since
that
And
like
was bullshit.
160,
and
bro.
Bivol too, right? Or no?
Yeah,
I'm not sure about Bivol, but I know
yeah, Bivol. No, yeah,
Canelo could have
Bivol,
probably been
Usyk.
undisputed at 160,
Yeah,
bro,
the
or at
IBF.
150, and they
Yes,
did that to him back then.
these sanctioning bodies have been a joke, bro. I've been saying this. Like, it's stupid that he has to go chase this IBF title again, right? Like, honestly, like I'll tell you, I had never heard of William Skull before this whole thing. I had never heard of him. I'd never seen him. You know, I heard people think, don't get me wrong, he's a big guy and he always undefeated and the Cuban style, but like, dude, this guy wasn't tested. He's never fought at that level. He didn't want it. He didn't care. Dude, we're ultimately there. We've talked about this. Like, how do you score a fight? Okay. Uh, we're there. It's a game of aggression. We're there to see a fight. That's period. That's what we're there to see. You can't just run around the whole damn fight. And well, it's not like he thought he won. I know, but the whole thing pisses
Yeah,
me off. Like, I can't believe that guy got paid $8 million or whatever. I think he got paid like 8, right? To just fucking dance around the ring and not even try to engage. not try to win. And did you see the way he was chingando with those body shots? Fucking shit pissed
Yeah.
me off.
Yeah, right there towards the end for sure. I think you look at it right is how important was the IBF title for him to get it? I mean, besides, saying I'm undisputed 2-time, like, did he really need a fight for that, or what was the bigger picture? Is it because we know the Crawford fight is next
That's
and it
exactly
puts
what I
more
think
on
it
the
is.
line? Yeah,
I
and then
think
there's
Turkey
more on the
just
line.
wanted to stack a couple fights together, and he chose this one and said, "Let's do this one." Like
Yeah,
a safe fight that there's no way you can lose. And even
yeah,
if it's close, we're gonna make sure that you still pull off the scorecard. That kind of
yeah,
thing.
exactly. Yeah, I
Which we
guess it
know how
makes it a
boxing
reward.
works, bro. We know how boxing works. Basically, when you fight a guy in this caliber, it's just like I was telling the people that I was watching the fight with. It doesn't matter if this guy actually wins a round by points. They're not going to give him any of these rounds because the rules are set, bro. If you're going to win a round versus Canelo for this at this magnitude, you got to do it a certain way.
Right. I said that to you guys earlier. I said, wow, Skull's giving rounds away because you can't win rounds against Canelo like that. Not that you deserve them.
No,
Uh, I scored at 12-0. Sure, if you want to give him a round or two, I wouldn't argue with you. But, I mean, that fight was just totally one-sided. And Canelo won just by well, the body shots were good, but Canelo really didn't have to try that hard to win this fight. And it was sad. I wanted to see more of a fight. Don't get me wrong. I like when Canelo wins, but this was just, well, this kind of reflects what we saw yesterday too, right? A bunch of like half-ass fucking fights.
yeah, exactly. It was just a really dull weekend, and I even said to Drew, like, there's still one more fight card tomorrow, which is the Inoue and Cardenas. I don't think two people know about Cardenas, but he's definitely got the puncher's chance. There's some good names on that card. There's a Divino Espinosa, and then Emiliano Vargas is on that card as well. So I mean, Friday, Saturday, Sunday on paper it looks terrific because it's boxing, but just these two cards. I mean, if I want to give them a score or a grade, I would say at least today's card was a little bit better because there was a little bit more action
Mm-hmm.
compared to like fight by fight, and like like I said, I gave Teofimo out of the two cards the best, but we had an opponent that actually wanted to fight and actually
Right.
showed, gave Teofimo a chance to really showcase his skill, and I thought that was the best Teofimo we've seen since Loma.
Damn, I
He
gotta
looked
check
good
it out.
against. Yeah, I thought he looked good against Josh Taylor too, but this one he just, man, everything was just going off for him. Like, you
He was
know,
straight up styling, huh? No.
yeah, dude, he did the Teofimo backflip. No Paul saw that. I know he was happy
Yeah,
to
I
see that.
know. I thought he was getting too old for that, man.
Did he stumble or was it pretty clean?
No, I don't remember if he kind of stumbled. I was just surprised that he did a backflip.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah,
Poodle
for
Sula,
sure.
what's happening, man? He says facts, bro. Half-ass fights and half-ass performances.
Yeah, and it sucks because you obviously have people that are cheering for promoters, people that love PBC, people that love Matchroom. They're
Yeah,
gonna they're gonna totally blame this on Turk, which you can't because all we're getting is good fights on paper, right? But it's the fighters that got to
it's good on
perform to.
paper.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
it's the
sure.
the fighters are the ones that got to perform. So that's the way I look at it. I mean,
Well,
just
it's amazing what these guys can get paid. Like when they work so hard and they get to this level, and then they can fucking like say you're Haney, you work hard, you take a loss, it turns into not a loss, and then you get to fight Ramirez, who's already kind of washed for that kind of good money in a lead up to another Ryan fight. Like, man, it's easy money at that point. It's just a
yeah,
hustle.
for sure. I was
I did,
just I was really curious to see how he was gonna react, and he actually. So I know I said he's gonna stop him, and I think that was like wishful thinking because I wanted him and Ryan to have a fucking great performance to build up their rematch. But he did kind of like what I expected was to be real cautious and be afraid. Like he was he was nervous. He just didn't want to settle down on anything. Because I mean, we seen when he fought Prograis, like he stood his ground, he used his jab, he used his jab really great. But here, like he was just really afraid to even commit to anything.
right. Uh, I still think if we're talking about Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia, I still think it's an interesting fight. Like, why
Yeah.
not? I think Haney wants to fight. Like, that's to him. He's probably salivating, thinking like, it's very difficult to stay at the top level. Look at all the shit that Ryan's done on the outside. Like, one of the things I like about Canelo's is discipline, right? And you have to be
Hmm.
strong minded. Like, I don't think Ryan, even though he's young and he obviously is very successful, like I don't think he's strong minded like that. You know what I mean? Not to
Mm-mm.
stay at that level and that discipline when it's all coming at you so easily. You know, and to keep the hunger, bro, when you're that well off. You know, like why didn't he try harder, bro? Like, dude, if you watch that second round, and Rolly even said in the post fight press conference, he said, "Well, you don't hook with the hooker." Like everybody was like, "Where was Ryan's left hand? His left hook?" He threw it. He threw it in the second round. Rolly countered with 2 hooks, put his ass down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't truly try with it again. And like we said, Rolly did a good job of protecting his chin at
Too,
all
yeah.
times. Yeah, put a glove there, you know. Yeah, and Dev turned to Shakira Twitterson crazy. Well, that's the other thing too, man. Like I'm hearing, like I listened to the some of those pro PBC channels, if you know what I mean. And man, they're on one
Mm-hmm.
about this. They're talking all kinds of. And you know what? I want to say this too. In general, in the lead up to this week, they've been yelling at at us Mexicans. They've just been yelling at us here and there, right? And I'm just like, geez, who are you talking to? Like, there's not even that many Mexicans in this space, like, and we're not like these rabid people, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know who they're talking about, but they're fucking pissed, bro. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, we don't really care about Ryan Garcia like that. I've never seen us care about a Ryan Garcia. I think we all agree
Mm-mm.
Jose Ramirez is washed. They were building up Jose Ramirez more than we were, and it's only
Yeah,
because they wanted to give that credit to Haney, right?
Well,
exactly.
they're really mad
Exactly.
because all the and Ryan has done a lot of BS that would get any other boxer in trouble or on the shit list, but amazingly, Ryan's fans are just like they don't care, bro, and they're not all Mexican, of course not.
Oh.
They're probably only about 30% of them are probably Mexican, and but really, Ryan's fans let him get away with everything, and they have his back, and of course that's going to make the other guys that you're talking about get all jealous and mad, because why can't Haney have it like that?
Yeah, true, true, very true, man. That's the only reason why they were cheering, I guess bigging up Ramirez for Devin is because they wanted to have something to brag about, if Devin was to win. But
But they would switch off immediately if it was Tank versus Haney, so even they're fucked up. You know what I mean?
Hey
They
guys,
would they would flip flop right away. So it's not like they're real Devin Haney fans anyway. So
Mhm.
it's just one of them another thing to get triggered off of, I guess.
I want to get into all this with you guys, but I think we should talk about this now before Drew Evil comes on or Lil Penny comes
Uh-oh.
on, which he's welcome. No, no, no. I just want to talk about I just want to have some like Mexican pride. That's all. It's a cultural thing, it's Cinco de Mayo weekend. And well, I just gotta say, like, I feel like there's not much pride that goes around in the YTBC, not much Mexican pride. I think that's unfortunate, especially when we have such success. I'm not saying we all got to root for the Mexican at all damn times, but there's nothing wrong with rooting for your countrymen. There's nothing wrong with it at all. And damn it, it feels good that Canelo's an all-time great. That's all I can say. And I was having this discussion with the homies in our Al Chile group
Oh, the
chat.
longevity.
The longevity, if you think
Oh
about it,
man, yeah.
it's just the truth. Pound for pound, there's been no better 35-year-old Mexican boxer, right? Chavez was and you could say that about the ages of 34 and maybe even the ages of 33. And we'll say this, right? And it's kind that other races haven't said it. We'll say it real quick. We don't age the best, right? As far as boxers go, right? But then again, a lot of people don't age very well, bro. You have to be like an all-time great to fucking be like, going into like your mid 30s to late 30s. It's quite rare in the grand scheme of things. So to continue to fight at the high level, it's very rare.
It is very rare. So yeah, definitely. I've honestly forgot that he was that we I mean, I remember we did the show on the Chavez and De La Hoya, and I for some reason looking back on it, I was like, he was fighting like he was like a 37-year-old guy. But I mean, you gotta think about it. At that time, he was close to what, 80 fights, 90 fights. So I mean, think about how many fights he fought to the age of 33.
Well, yes,
So
that's a good point.
that's the other point you got to remember too. So he was fighting a lot more. I mean, by the time he was 33, how many? I mean, by when he fought De La Hoya, what was he at, like at 90 fights already?
He was yeah, because he was 89-0 and then he lost.
Mm,
And then it's not like Chavez was undefeated, but it was pretty close after that.
yeah, that that's the other point. Yeah, there. See, I mean, what make it a 35? With the accomplishments. Yeah, that's terrific. But you
Right.
don't see
Like
90 fights at 33 is crazy.
well, it is, and those are days past. Even Canelo's amount of fights is pretty unprecedented. Like a lot of fighters don't have a bunch of fights like that anymore. Like
Yeah.
Canelo's at 60. That's crazy
Yeah,
for this day and age.
I was just looking at the Munguia. He's at 28, I think, at 47 fights. So I don't think I will. I don't, and honestly, I don't know if he'll make it to 35. 'Cause, I mean, he's starting to show. I mean, he had a pretty decent performance today. He made up for it, but I feel like there's way too many war. He's been in too
Yeah.
many wars already.
Well, there's a lot of things that set Canelo apart, right? So you think about like Salvador Sanchez. Obviously, he died, and he was kind of like on the defensive side a little bit. He would be a little defensive and try to offensive at the same time. But and obviously he died before we could even say that he was going to have a lot of longevity. And then you think about, I always think about De La Hoya and Chavez Sr. Now they ruined their career by being fucking idiots and drinking hella and doing coke.
Not as disciplined as Canelo. Canelo's been the most disciplined Mexican professional fighter
So that's
of
what
all
I'm trying
time.
to say is, when you think about all these champions, you say, hey, Mexicans don't really have good genetics that have longevity, but that's not true. The boxers, one thing that has ruined them, like you guys said, is they have these crazy ass fights and they're not defensive enough and they take so much damage, where you're not going to get to like 35 years old and still be competitive. I'm not sure how old Barrera and Morales were, but
Yeah.
Morales was more on the defensive side. He was
Marquez made it pretty late in age. He's like fighting at like 39, 40. That's
but
impressive.
then again, he's kind of defensive too, right? So now we're getting to a good spot, and then later on we have Canelo, and he's probably observing these guys a little bit. I want to fight more on the defensive side, and I don't think Canelo has the best genetics either. He's mostly, probably like Spaniard or something like that. So
Yeah,
I don't think
Irish
his
is what I
genetics
heard.
are the very best, but it's just the seriousness that he's given his career, right?
Yeah.
Because you got to think about how the other guys went out, and he probably looks at that, and I don't want to look like a dumbass like that. So you know what I mean? I want to have a good legacy.
From the shoe shine, Philly Irish, Drew Evo, Drewski. What's happening, man?
The best thing since sliced bread.
Oh shit!
Which kind of bread? What kind of bread are we talking
He's
about?
a Wonder Bread.
And we were just talking about
If I said the one bread, I'm gonna
toasted a little bit though. Huh? Toasted with butter, bro. Irish butter.
Don't take my edges off my bread, so leave my edges on there.
Drew, we were talking about aging fighters, and now you have to be special to be an aging fighter. But your favorite, one of the oldest special fighters, Bernard Hopkins, man, he was game until like what, 43-ish? Pretty
50,
good.
No, actually 52.
Well, it depends. Well, yeah. I guess
he was still winning titles at 47.
I guess you're right. I was thinking about him like around the Calzaghe kind of being his last like legitimate. But I guess you're right. Right? He was winning titles. That's impressive.
Like I look at the fight he had with Shumamov, that cruiser. He later moved up to cruiserweight, but the dude that he was the IBF light heavyweight champion. But he was knocking out people. Bernard made him look bad, almost knocked him out. And he won a better cruiserweight after that.
Well, that was like 2012, right, Drew? Like 2012, 2013?
Then I believe he beat Tavares Cloud.
Yeah.
And
those are HBO days.
Yeah. So I look at this, like, I'll be honest. I probably won't be the last person to say this, but this weekend, boxing sucked this weekend. I'm sorry, it just sucked.
Yes.
Are you making a full transition to video games after this shit?
Like the fucking, like even with the NUA things good, the two more important things sucked. Like the Times Square thing was probably one of the worst fucking things put together within the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And tonight, tell you the truth, the best fight tonight on this card was the bottom jack versus I don't know I forget the other guy's name.
That was the best fight, the Badu Jack.
Weren't you happy?
I thought the Njagba was the best one.
Nah, I didn't think that was the best fight. I tell you the truth, I thought Njagba should have won that fight.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I was busy grilling during the Badu Jack fight, but it looked like it sucked. But maybe I'm wrong.
My boy Boston Ranchera, huh?
Arrachera, San Dios Mío.
It was, dude. I was grilling like a motherfucker. It was great.
I think I said it was the best fight because the Njagba kind of, used the ring midway through the fight, thinking he was ahead enough to win the fight and avoid Bacoli's power and everything. But the main event, it was a snooze fest. Like, he was moving around, jabbing. When he could get a couple hits off, he'll get a couple hits off. A lot of them didn't land. But we can't, here's the thing. Can't just blame that dude. Canelo, as good as he is, should have been able to cut that wing off.
He was cutting it off, bro. But the other, come on, bro.
Not enough.
We've had this conversation.
How big was that ring, bro?
You're saying, Drew, you're saying it was his responsibility to cut off the ring?
Yes. If he did not want to fight, because at the end of the day, look at it like this. That could have got out of hand. Those scorecards, you didn't know how the fuck they were going to.
I thought it was pretty clear who won that fight.
Tell you the truth, you don't know how clear these judges.
What did you score it?
I had Canelo winning the fight.
Okay, by what?
I stopped scoring it midway through because I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck my scorecard?
But did you stop scoring it because you had an 8-0 correct Canelo?
No, I had an 8-0 because I stopped scoring the fight because I was fucking tired of shit.
So it was essentially a sweep. You agree?
See, Drew, you're contradicting
yourself. Wow,
yourself.
you're a hater, Drew.
So you're saying it could have still went the other way, yet you had an 8-0 already.
Drew, nobody thinks that fight was close. Bro.
I get what you're saying, though.
I do too.
Drew. I feel you, bro, but
you could have given me easily 3 rounds, William Scull.
I'm easily? No, I'm like generously, in my opinion.
Bro, I scored those 10-8 rounds for Canelo.
See, this motherfucker right here scored a 10-8. What the fuck are you doing?
Every round, bro, because...
Oh, we know why.
Drew.
Hey, you know what? Canelo needs his own breath, bro, because these refs are full of shit, too.
Drew, as a boxing fan...
The issue is he should have been able to cut that wing off and take it and make sure it was out of the judges' hands to make them give him that fight easily. You see those scorecards, 115 and 113, and gave him 8 rounds to fall?
I thought that was a little too close, to be honest. Right, George?
Yeah, I agree.
This could have got out of hand because you don't know how the fuck these guys are going to score the fight. Like, if they would have scored by activity or who threw more punches, William Scull threw almost.
So, but for your interpretation of how a fight should be scored, you have Canelo easily winning this fight, right?
Yeah, he should have won the fight. He was more the aggressor and everything. He was moving forward, but the problem is,
it's diminishing.
What about punches?
The problem. It's you know what? Maybe you should give a little. You know what? I knew I was going to counter this, Drew. Why don't you give the new undisputed super middleweight champion his credit, bro?
2 times.
Give him his credit.
2 times.
Yeah.
I did give him his
2
credit.
times.
Yeah.
This is a snooze fest.
I get what you're trying to say, Drew. You're trying to say to really leave it out of the judges' hands because, well, we saw the judges gave it 115, 113. And if we wanted more of we knew it was clear. We knew Canelo won more than 10 or even 11 rounds.
I mean, he could have gotten robbed, right?
No.
Exactly. Imagine the score would have done a little bit more.
He could have gotten robbed. I mean, if this happens with Bud Crawford, being that Crawford's coming up and anything can happen, really.
You don't rob
Canelo.
You don't rob the money guy. Dude, there's no money in Cuban boxers. This is a proven fact.
There's a lot of money in Vegas betting, though.
I guess, bro. Like
Laura
couldn't sell for shit, bro. When was the last time there was a Cuban superstar?
Gamboa was close.
Gamboa
early. He was close very early.
Laura was kind of close.
Yeah.
Laura, he fought like once in Texas. Bro, he was fighting in ballrooms, bro. Against a guy named like Canelo who draws all that money. Nah, bro. Canelo's got A-side privilege, dude. At least if the Saudis know what they're doing, they need to keep that respect. The cash cow gets the benefit of the doubt at all times, right, Georgie?
Exactly.
You're talking about Turkey al-Sheikh now. You don't know how. This is unpredictable somewhat.
Yeah.
So, like, I look at it like this. It was a horrible fight. It was a horrible fucking weekend. George said in our group chat and everything, Tio took the show. Didn't have to do much to do it because his fight wasn't really that good.
Come on, dude. What?
It wasn't. None of these
Tio,
fights,
man, that's the new Ali, fool.
That whole fucking card was fucking terrible Friday.
Well,
Doesn't he
you
look like shit?
we knew that you weren't gonna like Teofimo no matter what he did. Drew.
Teofimo did good though, bro. You gotta, man.
Because he
Guy
had
didn't
an
show-
opponent
the
that
guy
wanted to
didn't show
fight.
up.
Drew, do you got anything nice to say
Who-
about Teofimo? Go ahead.
Yeah, I like his dad's drinking choice.
Okay.
I seen it.
What does he drink?
I
Buzz
forget.
ball?
Something light, a white liquor. I don't know what it was, but it might have been like a tequila or something. Like what is that? Casamigos maybe? I don't know.
Oh, mezcal or what?
Maybe mezcal. Maybe
Drew,
a Casamigos.
Drew, you should have some more gratitude, man, because you know what happens now? We get Canelo versus Bud Crawford in September, baby.
And I'll be honest,
He don't want that
I
fight.
wasn't thinking too highly of it, but I kind of do get Terence Crawford a shot now.
All right.
You know
Hey,
what?
You see the
You know
game
what?
plan, huh? I saw Bud
Bud.
looking at that fight, bro. He's like, man, you know what? If I get into trouble, I could just do what Skull did.
You know, yes, he can. And you know what? I don't know if he could dance as much as that Cuban. I think Crawford's a little older. He was able to do that 140. I don't know how much he could just keep moving around like he used to. Floyd
I think
stopped.
he's a good inside. I think he's good at distance. I don't think he'll run. I think
He is
he
good at
has a
distance.
long enough, like his legs are long enough. He's a little long, so he doesn't really necessarily have to jump 5 feet back. It's just he can move 6 inches to the left, to the right, But I don't know.
I'll
And
be
he throws
honest.
straight shots. He throws. You know what? Okay, remember Chicano? I said earlier, Canelo looked a little soft to me. He didn't look. I mean, he had the 6 pack, of course, but he didn't look as muscle toned as he normally does.
Right.
Probably
noticed that
because
too.
he looks straight up coke
Are you
white,
saying-
bro. He's
Is
been
George saying he kind of took this guy lightly?
Canelo
I'm
took
good.
this
Good
guy
night.
lately.
Just like I don't.
Well, you know
I
what?
don't know.
This guy's on a lower level than Canelo. There's a different
Well, he
level.
also got-
I was listening to this guy named Dwyer. I respect him, but he's like, "Oh, how's Canelo gonna get to this guy?" And I'm like, and he's sitting there making it seem like he's the best thing on paper. But you know who else looked good on paper and passed the eye test is fucking. At least I thought so. David Morrell, and I was a lot more impressed with the tape of David Morrell than I was with this dude. Both fighting against nobodies. And what happens when they step up?
Morrell did he put up a good show. I think, man, I think he could be something. I think in a rematch later on down the line, if him and Benavidez are to fight, I think he could possibly get him.
He needs
Well,
a Mexican
Nah,
heart. He
I
needs
think-
if he
I
could fight in
say,
the Mexican.
they just got to keep grinding away, bro. I mean, don't stop there. I
I
mean, he
think
did pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Keep going.
I
But
don't know. I
what
think
kills these guys is they don't do nothing after these big fights,
Well, I think the issue with Morrell was he didn't go with his game plan. He didn't. He went along with trying to bang with fucking David Benavidez
Mhm.
instead of being a boxer and being a counter puncher, where you can easily probably catch Benavidez as he coming in and everything.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, I think Morrell
Yeah.
was the harder puncher of the two. Honestly, watching it, like I didn't know who. I mean, yeah, I think after watching it, I felt like Morrell was the harder puncher, but just Benavidez is his output was just way more. He just wasn't. He out experienced him. That's what it
Yeah,
was.
and he was connecting well.
Hmm. He out experienced him.
So now you know what, Drew? I just want to say I agree with you. Yes, I also think Crawford has a chance. I legitimately see this fight being, I think 2-1 is fair odds. Like I think Crawford could win this, dude. But I'm still going for Canelo. But I think it's a good fight and it's a close fight.
It's happening at the right time.
Yeah.
I will go with Canelo right now on this by decision. But I really, if Terence Crawford can keep his range and keep Canelo at bay a little bit and keep him thinking, it's going to be a hard fight for Canelo to win. But if Canelo can bring some of the old Canelo out and dipping and moving and punching, it's going to be a long night for Terence Crawford.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Like this, Crawford's on. Everybody has to agree here right now. Canelo's on somewhat a decline.
Yeah.
A little bit. Like,
but you know what? Crawford's old too, bro. And he didn't look great in his last fight, honestly.
Yeah, he didn't look all great against.
I mean, that
Madrimov.
Madrimov fight, some people think that he won, bro. I think that it was closer to a draw, to be honest.
I thought it was a close fight. Like I'm not
That was
upset
a
with it,
star
but yeah, it
power
was a close
win,
fight.
bro. He
I
just,
had
they
it
Yeah.
just give it to him
115 to
because he was.
113 to Crawford.
It was
Yeah,
close.
it was close. I didn't have it a draw. I thought Crawford barely pulled it off. I'm
Like,
a draw on that 115, 113.
Would you have
But-
been mad with the draw?
No, it would. I mean, you can't be, because I mean it was close enough to where it could have been a draw, but I didn't see where I could have given a draw. I did try to rescore it again, and they were really close. There was a lot of swing rounds, a lot of rounds that could have went either way. But of course, right, A side
Yep.
usually gets the edge. Like if if this it was all A sides, they all get
Yeah.
the 10.
Mhm.
In this case, you gave every fucking round to Canelo because the other the other guy, he was just, I don't know, man. There's just a certain way that you got to win these rounds, you know.
Well, Drew, it makes me feel good to know that you're still picking Canelo over Crawford, because I know you don't like Canelo like you like Crawford. So the fact that you're saying that, it gives me it makes me feel good. It makes me feel secure.
I said when the fight was probably gonna get made, I would put Canelo, but I think Crawford has more of a shot now.
Drew got to make sure the black honeys are watching him right now, because he's going for Crawford. He could score
Tell
some,
you the truth,
you know.
After all the bullshit I heard from fucking one dude on Twitter about Devin Haney gonna knock out Jose Ramirez, and after that bullshit performance, I could give a rat's ass about anybody says anymore.
Dude, those you know who I'm talking about, the
Oh, you might as well say it.
PBC people, the PBC cult, bro. They've been on one, Drew. They've been yelling at Mexicans, and they're sitting there talking shit about. They're just hating on Ryan Garcia, hating on him. Like, it's interesting, bro.
I'm kind of disappointed. I'm really disappointed in him because he could have done a lot better.
Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, he could have done a hell of a lot better for himself.
Yeah.
He was capable of a better performance for sure.
But
And it started with the jab. I thought his jab looked good. I was like, holy shit.
I
I
think
was
it's
just-
a mental thing. Like, I think we're getting accused of the PEDs and everything, and them taking away his fucking biggest victory of his career and everything. I think it did a number on him in that suspension. But, like, I don't think it was the PED that beat Devin Haney, because that was a fucking weight loss performance enhancing drug to help him lose weight and everything. If Devin Haney couldn't stop a fucking left hook, a blind man can fucking see a left hook before he could. Like, Stevie Wonder could see a left hook before he could and everything. That's how fucked up it is. And like I like the former IBF junior middleweight champion E.C. Smith, Ryan Garcia, the performance enhancing drug. I was like, yo, before you call someone a coward and talk about PEDs, know what the PED does and everything.
Yeah.
And this is why I don't understand. Like, I can't stress enough. Know what the fuck the PEDs do.
It's that
before you
B-side hate, bro.
talk
You know what I
shit.
mean? Ishay's like, he's always going to hate on somebody that has way more fame than him, you know?
Been a
Guys
hater.
that didn't make it, they're always like super critical of the
I
A-side
respect the
fighters,
hell out
you
of
know?
him for what he's been through in his career and come back on everything and winning a title. I respect the hell out of him, but you can't. You gotta know what the fuck you're talking about before calling somebody out and everything. You gotta know what
Yeah.
the drug does. And
You know, that's the thing with Ishay is like, okay, bro, even if you're right on what you're saying, you're just not the guy to say it, bro.
like, hey,
Because nobody's going to listen to you. Everybody's going to think you're hating, bro.
he did take a performance enhancing drug, but it was not one that really gave him more strength. It was a weight loss pill, or whatever the fuck it was. Devin Haney could have simply defended
Shit,
fucking left
I
hook.
remember a time when ephedra was probably okay to use, you know? Or like
Yeah.
excessive amounts of caffeine, you know? Like
Yeah.
people were getting away with shit. So, or like diuretics, you know?
Yeah,
And-
exactly. And to be fair, there's a lot of drugs that are considered that they consider performance enhancement. So it
And then
doesn't
there's drugs
necessarily
that
have
are
to be one.
okay in certain states. Remember the shit that Billy Joe Saunders got popped with in UK or something? for losing weight. And he got in trouble for it over there, or some shit like that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
there's actually a couple fighters. Amir Khan was busted with Ostarine. So was Povetkin. I think the fight with Wilder, he
That
tested
Povetkin
positive for
shit
Ostarine
was
too.
like
That was
That was
crazy.
not in the
Ostarine that
fight.
he popped for.
That
I
was
thought
not
it
And
was
all kinds of other shit.
standalone.
Lotto was in Russia, and he got out. He went on the plane and said, "I'm not."
I
fighting
remember
this."
looking forward to that fight at the
Yeah,
time.
I was too.
I actually had money on Povetkin that night.
I would have definitely.
No, I really picked Povetkin when he got knocked out that night.
What's up, Fight Doctor? Welcome, man. Fight Doctor might be one of my favorite Canelo haters, but I mean, I love hearing his take. So I hope you're doing well, man. Thanks for coming by. Shout out to the chat. Yeah, dude. You know what? Fuck. I bring on September, man. I'm here for it. You know what? Are you guys trying to go? Like,
Dude, I'm serious. I've been saying this for a long time. Even if I get the rafter seat, I don't care. To me, it's the experience to say, I went to a Canelo fight, I went to a Crawford fight, possibly one of the best fighters of the generation, and possibly number two as well. I mean, has any of us ever been to have you guys been to a Canelo fight?
I've been to Canelo fight.
Okay, damn well, I haven't. Then at least I
You
want
know
to have
what?
that
You know
experience.
what? Yes, I think it's worth
I
it.
never been to a fight.
You know,
Period.
it's
Come
worth
on,
it.
Drew.
It's worth it because you know what? I regret not having seen Mayweather, but I saw Pacquiao, I saw Marquez, saw Barrera. I've seen a lot. I've seen Mosley, and I've seen Canelo. I saw Canelo versus Kovalev, so I got that under my belt, and I feel better for it. But
There
this
you
one,
go.
and this would be quite a cool scene to go to. Like
Yeah.
this is the fight. It is, and it's true. Like they're gonna market it, but it's the truth. Like it's the two greatest fighters of that generation. They're still on top. They're both towards at the very end. Who's the greatest of that era? And they're gonna settle it. And you know what? I
Exactly.
think Crawford's he's a strong guy, really fucking strong, and I think he's going to fill into the weight well. I think they might be at a similar weight. I've never seen Canelo look this eye to eye with somebody in a really long time, even though Crawford is taller, but they
Yeah.
look the same size. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, Crawford doesn't look like he put it on bad. I mean, maybe the whole year layoff was good enough for him to put on the weight. Now it's how to take it off and to still be able to, maintain speed and
I think-
flexibility is going to
And
be
you
the
know
trick.
what? Canelo's not really used to fighting guys his size. About his height and all that. So
Yeah. Ryder was the last one, I think.
yeah,
Ryder.
and, that fight didn't look that good either. I mean,
I
Canelo
had
won, but it looked like he took kind of some damage.
I don't know. I think Crawford should have took a tune-up at least 160.
Yeah.
Well, he's
you
trying
know what? I
to
was
stack
thinking
them
that same thing.
steroids, probably, bro. So
He should have. He should have.
yeah.
He should have put
You
in
got
some
to
kind
do
of
what
easy
he got to
fight.
do, really. To pack on that weight.
Yeah, he should have
Yeah.
fought somebody. I agree with Drew. Like he's been off for what will it have been by the time they fight? Like over
A
a year.
year?
That's
Yeah.
too long.
Because he
Yeah,
fought in
it'd be like-
April last year?
It would be a
No.
year and 2 months in activity.
You got to be special, and he is special. But like I don't know, to me that is kind of rusty. Although Crawford's a born fighter, man. He's just
And
like
he takes care of
Canelo.
himself. You don't
He
hear
sure
you don't
does.
ever hear stories about him being on drugs, partying,
Yeah.
drinking. He lives the fighter life. I mean, that could be a plus for him. And you
But,
never
you
really
know-
hear him getting like any kind of surgery or like having any kind of injuries other than what was it, like a hand or something.
Right. He's in good shape. He's special too. Was he 30?
So it'll be 37 by the time they fight us September.
Yeah, Canelo's going to be 35 this June.
And the thing is, I think Crawford would have had a lot better career if he was promoted better back in the day. I think
Agreed.
Bob Arum should have done a better job with him and not tried to assault him and say I can go bankrupt promoting Terrence Crawford.
And he didn't start saying that type of shit till the end of their relationship, though, bro.
Yeah, but here's the
acting like
issue.
Yeah,
he
because
said
that was
at
the
Here's the
whole year.
issue.
That was all those years leading up to it. That's what
When
it was.
Manny
No, he said that
Pacquiao-
towards the end, bro. When he was already like one more year and he's gone. You know
wanna know
Exactly.
why?
So
You want to know why? He had every right to say that. He had every right to say that I'm done because when Manny Pacquiao was in that stable, Bob could have gave Terrence that fight, but he
I thought
refused to
he
because
tried
well,
to.
you can't give him.
Tried
What if
to.
Manny Pacquiao didn't want it, bro?
Exactly.
he didn't.
Like,
It was
he
him
didn't
You're
and
want
just
it.
Roach.
assuming that they both wanted to fight each other. That fight wasn't beneficial for Pacquiao anymore. And to tell you the truth, Bob Arum wasn't paying Pacquiao as much, like he wasn't paying Pacquiao what Pacquiao was worth.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he was probably overpaying Crawford in comparison to Pacquiao. Pacquiao's value was a lot. That's probably why, if you ask yourself that, Canelo's worth with every promoter except for who? Bob Arum. Because Bob Arum would have never paid Canelo what he was worth,
Maybe not now, but maybe if he would have had the same amount, early on in his career, like most, like De La Hoya, Cotto, Pacquiao, right? And early on, he was. I mean, it wasn't
He
like
did
he was
well with
giving
others.
ASAP money. Yeah.
Yeah.
In
You wanna
fact,
know-
look at that. When Kovalev was with he was with Bob Arum still, right? Like they were
Mhm.
co-promoted with somebody else. These dudes got to shell out like 17 million just to get Kovalev over here on the zone,
Fuck.
which was fucking crazy, bro.
But you know what? You know who impressed me tonight, really?
Canelo.
Jaime
Munguia?
Munguia. Like he's a lot. He's became a lot better defensively now, and
Yeah.
I can take another look at him in the super middleweight division.
He
Does
still
he
needs
beat-
a lot of work though.
I think he was like less aggressive than he
Discipline.
usually is.
Yeah.
I guess you
Yeah,
could put
I think
discipline,
that
but he
He's
won.
not using himself as taking shots as his defense. He's actually keeping his hands up, dipping his head and moving around and becoming a better counter puncher in that fight. I think if you look at it like this, I think he beats Billy, and I think he beats Pacheco.
What about Berlanga? Is that the big fight to
Anybody
make?
beats fucking Belanga, George.
Make
Why
that. I would love that fight. You know what? They
I
should
would
make
like it
it.
because they should make it. That would be I think that'd be a lot of
Shiraz
offense
is gonna
there.
kill him.
That should be the one we go to, Georgie. Well, okay, for real. Okay, let's talk about this real
Okay,
quick.
let's get back to it. Yeah.
Okay, for real. Okay, and not that we want to talk numbers, okay, but how high are you willing to go for a ticket for Canelo versus Crawford?
So I already talked to my son. I told him that he's going with me.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
If I could probably do like $400 for each of our tickets.
Ooh, that I bet you that put this. I mean, and I'm okay with it. Okay, I
Yeah.
bet that's like nosebleed. Like might be higher. Price.
So it's like, yeah, so it goes like nosebleed, then it's like that stadium where like the stadium seat that starts to come
you
in,
think
that
those are? You
angle.
think those will be $400?
I would think so because I mean I was hearing that some people said that that Canelo's tickets, he tries to be reasonable. So I don't know how much his tickets are. I've never looked them up. So I mean, how much were your tickets when you went to the Kovalev
Well,
fight?
Me,
Want me to talk about
paid,
that?
well, I paid to get like pretty close. My seats were $1,000 a piece.
Okay.
But I was like in the very like my pictures of this like this. Okay, this background right here, the screen. That's where I was seated. So
Oh, that's your seat? Okay. I
yeah.
get you.
So
I
whenever
see.
we've
Okay.
see
Oh,
that.
okay. That's actually
Sorry.
pretty damn good. And and pictures never do it justice when you're
No,
like
this
in
was
person. So
close.
I know you looked really close.
Yeah, it was cool, man. And he won by knockout. I remember not, being happy that I actually saw it because, sometimes you could look away and miss it. But I was
You
watching it when
can't
it
look
happened.
away. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you were like, so there's like the floor seats and you were like the next level going up, huh?
Yeah, these were $1,000 a piece at the
Okay.
time. It could be I'm willing to go high, but then I'm also like, fuck, that's a lot of money right now. You know what I mean? Like, but it'd be cool. But you'd have to really be serious about going and then let me know if you wanted to go. If that you were going at that, I could, if I paid you immediately, like as in instantly, you'd buy a ticket along, with me. So we'd be seated together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. No, I got you.
But if
I
you're going to
mean,
go, you should let me know. And then I will consider going.
yeah,
I
we'll
wouldn't
talk about
spearhead
it in the group. Yeah, we'll definitely talk it in the group chat. I know Julian, he says he wants to go. He's one of the big fans, but even if he doesn't go and even if you're not able to go, I mean, I want to go. Like I said, I feel like I have to go to this, at least to a
Good, man.
Vegas Canelo fight.
And
It's
you
a
like
must for me.
Crawford too, and I like Crawford too.
I mean,
Yeah.
Like
I think
it's a good fight. 2 for
People
1.
been trying to get me to fucking go to. Dave's been trying to get me to come to Vegas for years.
Go. See, there you go.
Yeah.
You have somewhere
But
to stay, Drew.
I told Dave, if the money's right and I got the time in the rental time, I'll probably take a trip to Vegas because I'm petrified of heights. I've never been on a plane. So
That's all right.
I told Dave I'll think about it. If the money's right, if I got the time, maybe I'll go out for like 4 or 5 days. Probably take one of my boys with me out there, get an Airbnb.
Yeah.
And
You should go with us in September, Drew.
Nah. Best time to go for me is the winter time.
Well, Drew, you do what you got to do. No ball, we'll see. No ball
I
is
take my
always.
vacation.
No ball, you gonna join us over there or what?
Down the shore. So.
Maybe, bro. We'll see.
All right, cool. But yeah, man, I'm
Possible.
fucking ready to see this fight, bro. Like, I think Canelo still got enough in the tank. I think we have to realize, like, I think what Drew said, like, he's not in his prime anymore.
Yeah.
I think, make this fight, beat this nobody, fight Crawford, fight Eubank next. Like, this is like the soft touch tour. This is the end.
Farewell.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely is. I mean, he says he got these last 4 and that's it. I think we've
Is that what he
seen that
said?
everywhere. I sure I saw that after these 4, he's done.
I wonder how much Turk's paying them for these.
I think after all 4, I think it's like over 400 mil, right?
Here's the thing. He
Shit.
made $100 million guaranteed this fight, and William Scull made $8 million guaranteed.
Canelo made
he
100
made
million.
100 mil versus.
He made $100 million versus William Scull.
Amazing.
Is that for your taxes? Because it's in Saudi Arabia or what?
What the fuck the tax thing is in Saudi Arabia?
I can't believe that guy got
Crazy,
paid $10
I
million.
would have been like, hey, bro, I want to get paid in gold. That way it's
But-
tax free, you know?
Give me a gas
I
station.
look at it, man. It's just, I doubt we're gonna see the Eubank fight. I think Eubank is gonna lose before that happens, and I think he's gonna lose really bad.
But they said whoever wins anyways, bro. If you win, what's that guy's name? Conor Ben?
No,
Yeah, Conor
I
Ben.
think he's not. He's gonna fight somebody in his one-weight class, and that dude's probably gonna beat the balls off him so bad he's gonna retire. Like, unless he stays away from the likes of Adonis, Shiraz. I think the Anastasi Law fight is winnable, but does he move up to super middleweight and fight one of these guys right now? I don't think I think he beats Berlanga. Like, come on now. Everybody beats Berlanga. But does he beat a Caleb Plant? No. Does he beat
And Billy?
Billy?
No.
Probably not. Pacheco? Maybe. Trevor McCompany? Maybe. Like, Jaime McGeer? No. He just doesn't. It doesn't stack up well. And I think the only other money fight for Eubank besides the Canelo fight is a Billy Joe Sanders rematch.
Hey, that'd be a cool fight if Billy Joe could get back in shape.
Oh, I don't think so, bro.
I don't think so either.
fight
He's
was
done.
like,
So
what about his eye, bro? I don't.
Exactly that too. Well,
We don't-
that's what 10 million can do to you, especially after an injury. He's taking it easy. I respect that Plant's still fighting, man. He's got that hunger, and Berlanga for that matter. They got their check. They could have stopped or waned off, but they're keeping it going.
Yeah, but you got to think about too. Berlanga has been acting a little bit bougie, right? He's not wanting fights unless it's a big name fight because obviously he got the Canelo, so he wants that big money as well. So look at him now; he's fighting on that card in June. Is it June or
Shiraz.
July? Yeah, Shiraz on that card in Riyadh.
Shiraz is
So I
going to
mean,
kill him. I'm telling you this right now. I'm predicting a KO inside 8 rounds for Shiraz.
I don't even know if I've seen the guy fight.
But I don't even know
Shiraz.
what the hell that fool is.
Shiraz beat the shit out of Ammo Williams. That was pretty brutal.
And in
Okay.
my opinion, I thought he lost to Carlos Adonis.
Yeah, agreed.
So, but I think Shiraz still kills Evan Berlanga.
Shiraz lost to Carlos Adames.
It was
They
a
gave it a draw, but I
They gave it a draw.
believe
At what weight?
Adonis won the fight. Middleweight.
160.
Interesting.
So I just don't. I think and plus he's with PBC now. Evan Berlanga, another promoter, says they can't fucking make money off of him. Well, here's the thing: you have him fight in Orlando instead of New York. Who the fuck fights in Orlando?
Right. The fuck.
Conor Ben does, but who the fuck cares about Conor Ben?
Okay, I just want to say real quick, now that we're on the subject, I scored the fight, right, without listening to too much content about it. I was excited to score it, right, because Julian had it for Ben, right? Yeah, Julian had it for Ben. And then everybody else said, well, it's pretty clear draw or Eubank win. I scored the fight. I thought there were a number of swing rounds. I think it was competitive throughout, but I had Ben edging it out or a draw. But that's just me. I was surprised everybody saw it for Eubank so clearly. I'm
Yeah,
surprised
there
it's
was
not
a
a little more
lot.
disputed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not more disputed, honestly.
I'm going to tell you why. I watched it twice. The first time I had it 8-4 for Eubank. The second time I had it 9-3 for Eubank, and I'm going to tell you why. The jab was the key to his victory. And if we look at it, Conor Ben threw a lot of fucking wild punches that missed and got countered with the whole fucking fight. If we're going to look at it like that, Conor Ben just had a horrible game plan in this fight. He was going to try to knock out. He fought based on him being Eubank being drained and everything, but then realized he wasn't able to get around that jab. And when he was getting around that jab with his wild punches, he was getting counter shot for it. And people are saying the country box numbers are fucking phony and everything. I don't know. I just don't like. Conor Ben got hit with a lot of fucking shots off the counter shot all night. And that's why if I watched that fight, I couldn't give Conor Ben no more than 3 rounds in that fight. And like, if we
And those
look
were the
at
early
it,
rounds, huh?
nah, I gave him 2 early rounds and 1 near the end.
See, to me, I think that's crazy. But like, maybe I'm wrong, or maybe it's just my interpretation is different because I don't see. Oh yeah, Eubank won that one, like for sure. Like I just don't see that, But that's just me, Like everybody's got a different interpretation,
But this is not a fight of the year candidate. I want people need to stop saying it. It's not.
I agree. It was good. It was way better than anything we saw this weekend, right? So far, but
Yeah,
no, dude, I felt the same
better.
way. Like to me, I was like, oh, people are calling this fight of the year. Well, maybe it's just a slow year so far. Not that it was a bad fight, but fight of the year. Like if that's the fight of the year, then we haven't seen any really blood and guts type fights or just high level fights. You
never noticed
far?
that they split up. They always have
This
2
year.
fight of the years, one for US and then one for Europe, bro.
I mean,
No, I'm just kidding,
I would have
bro.
been very happy to have gone. Like I thought it was a good fight. I thought I love good British level
of the
speed
year.
fights. Like usually when when there are 2 people coming up, not like I guess Ben was on his way up and Conor Eubank was on his way down, right? But also, dude, Eubank looked huge in there compared to Conor Ben.
I know a couple of people, including myself, said this. I think there's kind of Ben's cash out fight. I think this was his cash out. He goes down to 154. He has no chance of making 147 and everything. And I think he's food to everybody mostly at 154.
Yeah, he's a little small. He might be a little small for 154.
Yeah.
He should be at 147.
I think the way that he fights, he's going to get knocked out. He's too easy to counter.
And he's easy to he throws everything hard, so like you already know what to expect.
Yeah, like it's stamina issues too and everything. Like I look at it, the best punchers are mostly.
Yeah, imagine him fighting Virgil.
Oh, Virgil stops him inside 5 rounds. I don't give a fuck. I'll say 5th round knockout for Virgil Ortiz.
Well, maybe they'll rematch each other. There's good money in them fighting each other again.
Eubank it. I think they said like in November, or I heard on Barstool that the reason why Conor Ben was there was because after the fight he was going to go up and call out Ryan.
Really?
Yeah, that's what Barstool the Zone was talking about earlier.
Shit, even fucking what weight does Marco Verde fight at, bro?
I think is he middle?
Who?
Mike Verde on the prelim. He made his debut today.
Oh. Real quick, I got something I want to talk about when we're done talking about this. Go ahead, guys. Sorry, I'm stoned. You got to forgive me. Go ahead. But there's something I want to talk about when we're done with this.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so now that we got Drew here, I want to ask him. Okay, now this is what I was thinking about. We heard you giving Teofimo a hard time earlier because you don't like Teofimo. It's all right, but you can still be objective. And my point is this, bro. Like when we're looking at this Teofimo Lopez, who's been a lineal champion at 135, and then a lineal champion at 140 pounds, Don't you think when he says, "Oh, I'm looking for boots," don't you think that should be a call out that should be taken seriously, and that the 147-pound champion should be compelled to take on the guy who was a lineal at 130 and a lineal at 140?
Tell you the
I
truth,
think he
the
cut out.
Rojo fight's more intriguing than the Teofimo fight.
Okay, agreed. I would take that fight sooner,
I'd
but otherwise,
rather watch him fight Rojo. I tell you the truth, if you want to look at it like this, Teofimo, if a fight I want to see him fight, I want to see him fight Devin Haney.
at 147,
140, 147. I want to
Who
see
you
that
guys got
fight.
on that fight?
I'll take a Fimo.
Teofimo.
I'm picking Teofimo by stoppage in that fight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if stoppage because
The Haney fans
Because
never
if
talk
you
about
look
that
at
fight.
it-
did you see Haney's footwork, man? You never catch up to him.
No, I'm gonna say this why I think Teofimo can stop Devin Haney. The way Teofimo can move and get a shot off of Devin Haney, especially if he can get a left hook going. If he gets a good shot going on Devin Haney, he can stop him. Like, he still got the knockout power in Teofimo and everything. And you don't see it coming. There are ones that hurt the Ross. And I think that's the fight you want to see is Devin Haney versus Teo.
I'm
Yeah.
down. Haney don't want it though.
Haney doesn't, tell you the truth, Haney doesn't really want shit.
No, he doesn't. He
Awesome.
wants
So-
Ryan. That's what he wants.
He wants Ryan, but I think it'd
His
be
only chance to make money, huh?
Yeah, because otherwise, there's no fights that are that big. But like everybody knows that he should be trying to make his way towards a Tank fight or Teofimo fight. Teofimo, people act like he's not this super. People should be feeling obligated to fight him. He's the lineal champ, legitimate lineal champion at 140 pounds.
And double undisputed, right?
Yeah, dude. Depending on your perspective, I would consider him undisputed in that sense.
He's not an email champ, right?
No, it was a cleaned up lightweight division. It was a cleaned up middleweight division with lineal champions. That's how I feel.
But
Nando, what's happening, man? It says
I-
Haney versus T.O. Ryan Rowley's number 2 on the same card. I mean, I'm down for it. I'm down for it. You know what? I thought I'm happy for Rowley. That's all I could say. He and Turkey will pay for junk. Haney has nothing to worry about. That's true, man. I don't like the Saudi effect. You guys saw that video I sent you about Tom, what's his name? Bradley talking shit, saying like, oh, this is like this. He didn't call it the Saudi effect, but he was saying that pretty much, that these guys are just flexing. Like, you've reduced these people to not even really fighting now because they don't have to earn it. Like, he got kind of conspiratorial. Like, oh,
That's
the
been
boxers are
happening
just
already,
pawns.
though, huh?
Yeah, you know what? It does. It feels like they're just serving
Yeah.
the elite. Like, oh, hey, we could just buy what the fuck we want to see, and like.
But the shit didn't start here with the Saudis. I mean, the Saudis just topped it off,
That's
Yeah.
true.
Taking it from here,
The zone came in throwing. They've been paying fighters what they're not worth for a really long time now.
PBC too.
Yeah,
I mean,
Right.
and you got to wonder where's all this money coming from. Like, you really don't even have to get your money back on what you're paying these guys. I'm
right.
like, you know
Dude,
what I
did
mean?
you see
Like,
the extra seats in the crowd
Oh,
Where?
but you know what?
at the Canelo fight? Dude, there was
but
extra
hey, they
seats.
said that it's like 5 a.m. over there, bro. Who's gonna want
6
to?
o'clock when they fought.
Who's gonna fucking be watching the fight? When
Hey,
did
bro,
the
they
fight
had
start?
Mexicans flying out there. There was a lot
Hey,
of
here's the
Mexicans
thing,
in that
man.
crowd.
That's cool, man. Hey, they
If you-
showed up.
If you're gonna have like Teofimo move up to 147, they were even talking about matching him up with Brian Norman before anything. If he was gonna move up top right, we'll match you up with Brian Norman. It will be see if we can get him a belt at 147 and everything. Not that Brian Norman will be an easy fight for Teo unless
I would love to see it.
I would
it'll
love
be
to
a
see
good
it.
fight, but to introduce him to 147, but with the way Top Rank's doing shit now, I don't know what the fuck we're gonna see it with Top Rank. And you don't even know what network they're gonna be on that for July 16th.
Tim
I thought it was
Bradley's
the
just
zone.
mad because they didn't hire him over there, right?
He could be, because you know what? I feel like, dude, they're starting to close in on like who the workers are there. Did you see that they labeled Mike Coppinger? His official title was like the Ring Insider or something like that. So it's like he's been a guy who releases stories. Now he's just going to be doing on behalf of fucking
The
them,
ring.
the Ring.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, they're starting to make moves. Like I noticed a lot of people are bitter about what's his name. what's that black guy with the fro who's on the zone now with the mic? He has like a taco hat. The
Oh
LDBC
yeah,
don't like him.
showbiz.
Showbiz.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Like, look at him, man. He got some television time. You know what I mean?
I
He
think
made
I
it.
think people are just gonna hate on him because he did what he had to do to make it and everything, and people just don't, didn't have that privilege like he have. So it's fucking petty shit.
Well, I noticed a lot of people fucking hate on Ellie Setback, and I wonder why. I'm like, well, he didn't, maybe it's his style. I never watched enough of his videos to understand why he got so much hate by the boxing
Yeah.
community.
Yeah. I think the hate is he's a suck up. Like he sucks up to whoever he's interviewing in the gym. I think that's one of the big ones I always hear about.
That
Well,
happens with Access. You see that all the time.
I don't even fucking watch that much boxing content outside of the certain like couple shows that I'll probably stop by and watch and everything. Like
Yeah.
I don't really watch the boxing voice. I don't really watch I only watch probably like 2 or 3 channels. That's about it. Other than that, I haven't not watched them because it's just so much like fucking one side dick riding shit.
Yeah.
Bro, I used to wonder how other channels who were involved in the space, like in the YTBC, just kind of went away and stopped watching boxing. Bro, I find myself becoming them. Like, damn, like, dude, like sometimes I'll watch maybe just like at total, like maybe like a half hour to 45 minutes of boxing talk a week, maybe. Like, if it's something really good, I'll listen, but I'm like, dude, like, I don't know. My interest just isn't held. Like, I don't know. It's weird. I'm phasing out, bro. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, my interest in the YTBC kicked up with some of these upcoming fights, but dude, I could go without listening too. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was just an era kind of thing, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. My algorithm is golf, food, some boxing, true crime, conspiracy theory shit. So
Yeah, yeah. I like conspiracy stuff. I like spirituality stuff,
mhm.
and then I think those are my main things. I'd have to look.
Absolutely.
I'd have to look.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But
So back
I
to
got a
I
lot of.
think
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
oh no go go ahead. I'll wait.
No, I'm just bullshitting. Go ahead, Georgie.
Yeah, no, back to like the Teofimo and Boots. So when me and Julian were in Phoenix, they were there hanging out and they were so Julian's insider, right? Says he knows that that's the next fight for sure. So we see Teo Senior and I'm standing like 2 feet away. He says what's up to us, and then he goes, and Julian asked him, he's like, so I'm hearing that's the next fight, right? And Teofimo Senior turns around, looks at him like, where the fuck did you hear that? He goes, who told you that? Like, not like it's not true, but like, what the hell? Like, how did you hear about that? So I think it's more. I think it could be a reality. It could be a fight that could be next. I think it's just
Well, you know what, Boots.
who's gonna make it happen.
It's a good fight for Boots too. Like Teofimo's smaller. He's new to the
It's a
division.
name.
It's a name. Exactly.
But here's the issue. Who would give him credit if he beats Teofimo? Because he's moving up.
I would.
140.
I'd give
I
him
would.
credit.
That would be the only issue where people are not going to give him the credit.
Yeah, I think it's the ones that don't give credit are the ones that I don't know. They're the ones that are the hater, right? The people that don't like Boots or
Yeah,
those. I think those would be the ones that mainly complain. But at the end of
because
the day, like if you make the weight, like you sacrifice just as much as someone that is in that division to either lose weight or put on the weight. So I mean,
yeah,
it's just as
but
equal.
I think that because Boots is mandatory to fight somebody now. I think if he doesn't get a champion, he's going to move up.
And I think it's Gisov.
Yeah, if he doesn't get another champion, he's moving up. I think that's the only fights that he wants in welterweight, the other
Mhm.
champions. He wants to go undisputed, or if he can't get that undisputed fight, he wants to move up because he says no reason for him to stay at 147. And do you think that it's the wrong move for him to move up if he can't find another champion? No, I think not. Like you give him possibly Keith Thurman as his introduction fight, the 154, or maybe Tim Sue, and he beats one of them, and you put him in a fight with Virgil Ortiz. Because here's the thing, Tim Tszyu, he's not the same guy anymore. Like no wonder why Fundora dug Xander Zayas to fucking go get a rematch with fucking Tim Tszyu. And yes, I'm the one that said it before the post bid, but before the day he gave that belt up, that he was gonna dug Xander Zayas, and because they were afraid that that the PBC was not gonna win that post bid, and they would have control of Fundora. And what happens? Like I said, was gonna happen. He's gonna give that belt up and duck him, and he ducked him. That's a duck. I don't care what anybody says. That's a duck. And Samson, Samson's like, to me, I think Samson's fucking up Fundora's career. Like, you wouldn't let him like fight these names and make money. Even if he loses, he makes money, and it puts him out there. Hey, he fought this guy. He fought the top guy, and everything. And he'll be regarded as the top guy, even though losing to the top guy.
Yeah.
But Samson, I don't know what the fuck type of business shit he's doing. It's, as long as it benefits him or PBC. Doesn't care about his fighters.
No.
So.
Damn. Well, guys, what do you think, man? Should we let's see what Nando here has to say. He says Teofimo is what the boxing media has been hyping Shakur as. Not a big puncher, not super athletic, great defense, and a precocious offense. You're right. I've always been a fan. The Fight Doctor wants to know, isn't Fundora fighting baby Tim Tszyu next? Yeah, it looks like that fight is on.
It is.
So
Fight Doctor's Tim Tszyu's washed up. Come on
now. Tim Tszyu will never be the guy, right? That's okay. We need, as long as he's going to be around, he's entertaining, but he's never going to be the guy. That's okay.
Yeah, he could be the gatekeeper. He could be a gatekeeper.
Yeah, or a contender. I think maybe he could win another. He might be able to win a
French contender.
French contender? Damn, Drew. Come on, Drew.
We can do that. We can do a French contender. We can make him a French contender, a gatekeeper. We can flip a coin and pick one.
I think Ramos beats him.
Oh, Ramos destroys Tim Tszyu now. I don't give a fuck anybody says.
Ramos will fucking destroy him.
Ramos is the wild card of 154.
I love it when you say it, Drew. Yeah, dude, Ramos could be the man. He's big, dude. He's big. Yeah,
but got robbed against Erickson Lubin. I thought he clearly got robbed.
I need to watch that fight again.
I can never find it anywhere. Honestly, I've been looking as far as like a month ago for that fight because I've been wanting to see it. I cannot find it anywhere.
I couldn't give Erickson Lubin more than one round in that fight.
Says here, Tszyu is a never was, in my opinion. Well,
so you have the thinking Fundora's going to beat Tszyu?
Oh,
I always thought Fundora wasn't all that great, anyways. I mean, maybe Tszyu could win it, but I've never been impressed with Fundora either. I don't have a horse in the race, and neither of them impressed me.
But here's the thing: I'm going to pick Fundora to beat Tszyu this time. I just, even though he had that, he fought with that cut. His team did him wrong in that. They should have went to the cards. He would have got the technical decision, and came back for a rematch. But even when that shit wasn't affecting him, I really thought that he just made a lot of mistakes that got him hit and made the cut worse and everything. So I think Fundora can. I think he's seen his last couple fights and everything. I think Fundora can beat Tszyu. I think you did the right thing by having Tszyu come back against Joey Spencer and everything, a guy that got really exposed for who he is.
By Ramos. Ramos beat the shit out of him, yeah.
Thank you, Ramos. And then he was going to fight Keith Thurman, but, Fundora get that, hey, I'm going to give you a rematch, bro. Knowing that you probably washed up. But nobody wants to give that guy to knock that Tim Tszyu a fight.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to see. I want to see him fight somebody.
Well, all I can say is it'd be interesting if Crawford was still there, but he's just shooting up, going past 160, going around all the way to 168. That's a big
Oh,
jump.
that's shooting up. That's shooting up. I thought you were talking about another different shooting up.
Oh, no, man. Crawford
Guys,
going
without promoting that.
47 to 54 to 68, bro. I mean, he's going to be good, though. I think his strength's going to carry up. Canelo,
It's happening at the right time for both
yeah,
guys.
it's exactly the right time for both guys. And they've earned it, man. They're fucking about to break the bank together, dude.
And we're about to be there.
Good for you, man.
I'm
I
putting it in
might
that.
make
I'm
it.
putting it out there. I'm putting it out
Yeah,
there, Chicano.
put it
We're
out
gonna
there.
be there.
But you got to if you were spearheading it, then I'd pay attention. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be the one to spearhead it, but I'm
Okay,
down to
well,
go. Maybe if you're already going, you know what I mean? Or saying,
okay.
hey, let's really commit. I'd have to give it.
I
I'd
will
have to think about it.
definitely be keeping an eye out. Every other day throughout the weeks. See when it officially goes on, or well, hopefully Julian will let us know when the tickets go on sale. But I already have like about $1,000 put to the side for this, for this fight, knowing already.
Good for you, man. How's your son?
He's 17.
Oh, nice, man. I'm sure he's gonna love it if it happens.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool, man. All right. Well, hey, I'll let you guys get back to your lives, man. I appreciate y'all checking in, dude. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
We had Georgie with Off the Ropes Boxing and MMA, the YTBC legend Nopal Boxeanos, and from the Shoe Shine, Philly Irish, Duivo. Good night, everyone. We hope you have a wonderful evening. Peace.